Do you have dry and dull skin? Well, we have the solution for you. With Indira Skincare's facial oils, you can strengthen your skin's barrier to trap moisture and hydrate your skin to reveal a beautiful and natural glow. And when I say glow, honey, I mean glow. Also, there's the vibrating pink jade face roller that is used to stimulate facial oil absorption while reducing fine lines and wrinkles with an extension to depuff and reduce dark circles under your eyes. Endura Skincare is not only here to reveal your natural glow, we are here to help our community. As you know, I lost my best friend Maciel due to domestic violence back in April, which inspired me to help women in similar situations through a nonprofit organization, Her Justice. Her Justice stands with women living in poverty in New York City by recruiting and mentoring volunteer lawyers to provide free legal help to address issues such as individual and systemic legal barriers. Unlike Maciel, their clients, about 80% of them, whom are survivors of intimate partner violence, have urgent legal needs in the areas of family, matrimonial, and immigration law. By engaging in advocacy, partnering with community-based organizations, and leveraging the pro bono power, Her Justice is working to close that gap to access to justice, particularly for survivors of intimate partner violence and gender-based violence. Now, Maciel loved the rose formula and used it daily on her face and her body, okay? Proceeds from the purchase of the rose formula will go to Her Justice to help fight injustices placed against women. With every purchase of the rose formula, you will be supporting women who are struggling in so many ways. This is my way from Masi to give back in spirit. So I want you to go to enduraskincare.com to make your purchase today. And you also can find out more information about how you can support Her Justice. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Where Did I Put My Glasses? I am your host, Carmen, and I am back with the funny and insightful blogger, Miss Jessica Joseph, the creator of Lazily Organic. Hey, Jess, say hello
Hey,
to the people.
hey everyone, how's it going?
And tell them how to find you.
Well, you guys can find me on Instagram at lazily_organic. I'm also on Pinterest, lazily organic, or you can look up at my website at lazilyorganic.com.
Yes, please do, because I'm telling you guys, she has the best DIY recipes and food recipes. I won't lie to you. I want to make that like what is it, the easy oven baked smoked turkey wings.
Yes.
Guys, please go to lazylyorganic.com. Let me tell you, I was looking at that. I was like, oh, I wanted to eat it through the screen. I did, and I love turkey wings. I know, like, even on Thanksgiving, I'll fight you. Like, I only want the turkey wings. Like, I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like any other part of the turkey. It's unnecessary.
I agree. The turkey wings are my favorite part.
Yes, I love it, and believe it or not, I haven't met anyone on earth besides my mother that can really like put their foot in a turkey wing. But that recipe looked like it might be worth something.
It is. You should definitely give it a try and let me know if you liked it or not.
I am. That's gonna be my Sunday dinner. And I'm gonna be eating good on Sunday.
Yes, you will. Make sure you don't have anything to do afterwards, so you'll probably be sleepy.
Oh, when I make dinner, I'm literally like on a couch binge watching like something on Netflix. I binge watch like everything Netflix has. I have to start from the beginning sometimes. You'll be surprised how many times I watch Narcos. I should be like fluent in Spanish at this point.
And it's so weird because I understand what's going on in Narcos, and only probably because I've seen it so many times. I don't even need to look up and through the screen. I know exactly what I'm like. Rafa, no.
That's like me and Fringe. I have watched that series at least 3 times every year since it's come out, and I can
What's the
recite
name of
it.
it?
It's called Fringe. It used to be on Fox. It's about fringe science. I like that weird sort of stuff. Alternate universe, the
Ooh.
unexplained sciencey kind of things happening. It's a really good show. I was sad when it ended. It lasted for about 5 seasons, but it's on if you have Amazon Prime,
Mm-hmm.
IMBD, that app on Amazon Prime, they have the episodes there free of charge. You just have to sit through the commercials, but there's not a lot of commercials. But I watch that series about 3 times every year.
Oh well, see, look, you bad. You got me into another one. Now I'm gonna look. You know, you wanna know? I don't really watch like the regular TV stuff. I haven't watched that in years, like Fox or like what the
CBS,
stations want to be? CBS. What's the other ones?
NBC,
NBC. Things like I
yeah.
don't know. I don't even know what. I don't even know what they have.
I think the only thing currently that I do watch is on CBS, the FBI series. They have the FBI Most Wanted, and they just started FBI International. That's probably the only current season I watch. Everything else is old shows I just keep on rewatching because they don't
Exactly.
make them good anymore.
They don't. Remember when they used to have like Once Upon a Time? You couldn't wait for Once Upon a Time to come on, right? It's like, what is gonna happen? Like they used to have really good shows, but now it's just like, what? Everything's
Yeah.
the same. All the cops the same. So I don't know. I'd rather watch a reality TV show on Netflix or something.
Yeah, Netflix
But
have some interesting reality shows.
Netflix has reality shows.
They do.
So I know that the algorithms are based on what you watch. I watch a lot of documentaries and just like sci-fi, creepy, or like gangster stuff. So my Netflix only feeds me that stuff.
Ah, okay. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do have my daughter, she loves all the she likes the bacon reality shows.
Oh, like
So
nailed it.
yeah, oh, that's her favorite.
Nailed it.
I always
Yeah.
know when she's watching because I can hear out there, nailed it.
Okay, so is that reality TV? That's considered reality TV?
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
okay. All right. So I watch a Netflix reality TV. I love Nicole Byer. She is hilarious.
Yeah, she definitely
Hilarious.
is.
Now, guys, you may recognize this voice because Jess was recently a guest Tequila Tuesday with Cincy. And she got us together about how we navigate these manipulators and narcissists. I could not, I'm too childish to break it down the way she did. But my friend Leah and I was sitting there like, wow, like, yo, I needed that. We needed that. We were sitting there feeling stressed, like, oh, let's pour something to drink. Like, what? That was a really good episode. And I'm sad that I couldn't be a part of it because of my dang on mouth. But I really enjoyed it. Thank you again.
That's good. I definitely, when Cincy asked me, I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know if we could do it, but I'm like, you know what? If you need me, I'll try and just hope for the best.
You know what it is? You have a smooth, clear, direct voice, and you're articulate. So it's like people want to listen to you. It's like, yes. Tell me
I wish my
more.
daughter would listen to me.
Oh, no, she's never going to.
No, they
She's your
don't.
daughter. We don't listen until we're older. Like I started listening to my mother like around 22.
That is true. Because,
That's
we
it.
growing up, we think we know everything, right?
Yeah, we know everything and know absolutely nothing.
So
I
true.
thought I knew everything when I was a child. You couldn't tell me nothing. You still can't now, barely. I'm still barely listening to people. I just want to know how you got through that live on that many drinks.
Listen, it was willpower and determination because when I tell you I was nervous about even 24 hours before we were going to go live. I mean, I did not sleep that night. I told, like, Sensi responded to a text of mine about 4 a.m, and I responded immediately. And she's like, what are you doing? I said, I can't sleep. I'm so
Oh
nervous.
my
I
goodness.
was nervous. And then as soon as I was done working, I had finished around 5. So anywhere
Mm-hmm.
between 5 to 5:30, I popped that bottle open and I just kept drinking. And the closer it got to 9 o'clock, the more I was drinking. And then a friend of mine, he called me just before because he knew I was going to do the live. And he's like, he FaceTimed me and he goes, "Are you okay?" I said, "What you mean?" He said, "You seem, very loose from your normal self." I said, "Because I've been drinking since 5." He goes, "Oh, Lord." He goes, "I wish you the best."
Well, but you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell because you spoke so well. Like you could tell during the lives when the tequila started kicking it with me. I start smiling extra hard. I'll be making mistakes. You see me guys yesterday on the tequila live. I was biting my nails on the live and spitting the nails out in front of these people like I was just at my friend's house. I stopped caring. It's the tequila.
That's why I stay away from tequila. Because typically I'm a lightweight, and I was surprised that I was able to hold it together. But I stay away from tequila because anytime I drink tequila, I end up in trouble. So I just try and stay far away from that particular drink.
That's me and Hennessy. Like Hennessy makes me feel like
You on top of the
why
world,
you
right?
looking at me? Like no, it even makes me really wanna,
Yeah,
get
frisky.
it in. Yeah, like it's like, oh, okay. I'm gonna be a little bit of a hoe tonight. But or it's like, why everybody keep looking at me? Like, what are you looking at? Like it makes you feel like, do you wanna fight or no? And I'm too grown to be doing both, being a hoe and fighting people, knucking if you bucking on the streets. I ain't got time for that. So I stay with that's what Hennessy does to me. But tequila makes me just happy.
Like you were happy last night.
Believe it or not, Jess, that's me all the time. Sissy hates it. When we go on trips together, she gets mad because I wake up happy. I'm happy all the time. Even if I'm mad,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be mad for like 10, 15 minutes, but then I'm happy like it never happened. Like something simple, like I'll see like a butterfly or like something on my phone. I'm just like, oh, like I'm just naturally just like I don't know why I'm like that. I'm grateful.
That's a good thing. Not
I'm
many people
grateful,
can say that. I can't say that.
but I'm just happy as hell. I could be mad as hell at work, and to see something stupid like the way somebody walk and be like, why are you walking like that, and just forget all about me.
That is funny.
Yeah. So believe it or not, the tequila just enhances it. So if you guys haven't realized, Jess has an Antiguan accent. Isn't it sexy? Oh, it is. I love it. I love when Cincy be talking, but she always yelling when she starts speaking it.
And
She
then
either
she has
yelling
that
at me.
mixture too of the Antiguan and that New York accent. Because when she
Mhm.
starts talking like a New Yorker, I'm like, say that again.
We do. We have strong. So New Yorkers, we have strong. And sometimes I try to sound like neutral,
Mm-hmm.
but it never works. It's like, bitch, shut up. You sound straight out of Yonkers if you don't stop it. But she can't help it. So I thought like all of you guys, I thought Cincy just sound like that because she was yelling when she talked.
Nah.
But when did you move to the States?
So I moved to the States in August. I'm trying to remember exactly when in August, but it was sometime mid-August of 2005. So it was shortly after I graduated from secondary school. And I didn't, as soon as I graduated, I didn't leave. I had to stay for Carnival, just get that one last party in
I want to
before I
go.
had to be serious and move to the States and go to college and do all that good stuff.
Besides, what carnival? You could still go to Carnival and be in college and be a mom and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But you know that innocence you have before you hit adulthood, because I was 17 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and then you don't know if you're ever going to see all these people that you
True.
went to school. For secondary school, it's 5 years, where, high school here is 4. So for 5 years, and again, I'm sure because with Sensi, we went to an all-girls school.
Yes.
So, drama every day. But
I don't know how
you don't know if you're going to see, especially when you're relocating to a whole other country and you don't know how often you're going to come back. So you want to spend that little bit of time you have with the people that you don't know if you'll ever see again. So it was just a really good time to just, have fun, relax, enjoy that one carnival where all of you are together before everyone's going their separate ways. Because we had people staying, people going to the States, people going to Canada, Europe, Cuba. We're just splitting up, going all over the place. So it was just that one last time for us to just be together and have some fun. And then carnival as a underage kid, and then carnival as an adult, that's like 2 separate different things. But yeah, it was good to stay and have that fun before I had to join the parents here in the United States of America.
Well, how has your experience been? Because let me tell you, I know I ask everyone who moves here because the U.S. is ghetto. And sometimes I feel like I need to move somewhere else. Like, Mars me, please. Like, how I get, because it's ghetto here. They got Feed America commercials.
I'm sorry, they have what?
Feed America commercials. The China one is the best because he in front of the bodega and he handed the little boy the basketball. I said,
No way. I did not know that. Now I need to go look that up.
Oh, no, I'm going to send them to you. I'm going to send them to you because I have time. I do. I have time and I know where they are, and I will send them to you. They have Feed America commercials in Germany and China and other countries because the U.S. is ghetto.
That is crazy. But it was a culture shock. I'll tell you that. Within the first year, I was homesick really, really bad. Because, Antigua is such a tiny island, and then, being there all of your life at that point, you're accustomed to one set or type of people, all black, mostly black. To see a different race was like, oh, what's happening today? Kind of thing. Especially where I lived, it was predominantly black. That's all we knew. And then the Caribbean lifestyle, the education you get was heavily, Caribbean, or, throw some British stuff in there. But when I moved here, it was completely different. Everywhere I go, it was just different races. It's a melting pot of different races, culture. And I was so, accustomed to just one. I couldn't handle it all because it felt like it was coming at me in every single direction. Like, no matter where I go, nothing was familiar to me. And then when I started college, and my mom thinks it's the funniest thing, but I remember it was a cold Monday morning. I was already annoyed because I've never experienced temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Like, when I talk, I remember the smoke coming out of my mouth. And I was like, what is this? But it was an early January morning. My first class was math. And I'm sitting in the class waiting for this professor to come. And this girl walks in. She was white. She had on all black hair, black eyeliner. It was the goth emo look. Okay. The high boots. I had never, besides outside of watching The Craft, I've never seen that look before. Ever. And I remember I could not stop staring at her. At one point, she looked at me and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I couldn't even answer her because it was just a shock to my system. I'm like, I've never seen this. So something as simple as that would just, shock me. And then I instantly felt homesick and I wanted to go home. And my mom kept saying, just give it a minute. You'll start to feel different. But it took at least a year before I really started to settle in and enjoy the things that America had to offer that we didn't get back home in Antigua. Okay. But yeah, it was a huge. So that was a culture shock. Then the food, it's like every corner there's a fast food. We don't have that back there. You want food, you're gonna go home and cook.
Oh, y'all can't like go and grab like a pizza?
I mean, we had this one, and it's still there, Big Banana. They have the best pizza. If anyone ever
No,
goes
ma'am.
to
I'm from New
Antigua, go
York.
to Big Banana and get
New
your
York.
pizza.
There's
It's
no pizza better than New York pizza. Like the cheap one from like the Bronx, like the ones that you can get for like $2.
I don't know about that. Big Banana pizza hits.
If that's what we're saying, well, I'm gonna try banana pizza when I go to Antigua, and I'm like, it better be. I'm gonna videotape it.
It's gonna be good. I'm telling you.
All right.
Big slice of pizza, so good. And then we had Kentucky, but Kentucky there tastes way different than the KFC here. I don't know what it is,
Oh,
but it
it's the
tastes.
genetically modified food we have here.
That must
Our
be it.
food is genetically modified.
Yeah, it's the KFC is really good there, but yeah, it was like every corner there's a Burger King, a McDonald's, a Chick-fil-A. That was interesting, and the food tastes different. So but yeah, 16 years later, I'm still here. So
you like it a little bit. I mean, I like the US. I think I would have, well, not would have. I enjoyed my childhood. It was a great experience, but I would like to live somewhere else just to experience it. Like I live all over the United States, that's what I do. But I would like to live in another country just to experience that, like to see that.
I mean, and I encourage that. I always, when people say that, I say go for it, because there's a blessing in both. You get to see how someone else lives, and also you become real appreciative of the things that you now have, because there's a lot of, I mean, it's great living on an island. You got the beaches, people always say, why would you move? But there's a lot of limitations as well. And I feel like the things that I can do now, I would not have had the opportunity to do that if I was back there. So when I moved here and I see all the things that it had to offer, it made me appreciative that I had that opportunity. So I always encourage people, if you have the opportunity to go to a whole other country, experience a different culture, definitely do that, because you broaden your horizon, learn something new. Plus, you also start to appreciate what your own country, does for you. Because then I also appreciated, I'm not very great with crowds, and America is populated. It is very populated. And that's something I appreciated about being raised on an island, is that it's not that populated. It's small. So you're more involved in your community than you have the opportunity to be involved here. So that's something I appreciate. I appreciated being raised on a small island. But you get to see both sides, the pros and the cons, and like I said, broaden that horizon and learn something outside of what you always know.
Yeah, because I won't lie to you. When I first moved from New York, my family would not let me, and I had to just basically get out of Dodge and move to Florida. And it was a culture shock for me. One, I would never forget. I lived in West Palm Beach, and I noticed that people were very separate. Like people were inclusive but separate. Like everybody was doing the same thing, but not doing. And I would never forget my first set of friends. Well, my only set of friends in Florida were the ones that I met at work. And I know I don't like having friends at work, but it was my one friend, and then introduced me to her friends, and we became friends, a friend group. And I would never forget them and the person that I was dating asking me, how you know all these white people? Like you just like know them and like do stuff with them? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And they was like, yeah, on your Instagram and your friends that come and visit you. Like, I said, what are you? And I didn't even realize, like, and I know racism now has been like on an all-time high, but like growing up in New York, you don't really do like you're white, you're Spanish, you're black, unless we're making jokes at each other, we cutting each other ass or something like that, like you know what I mean. But other than that, there's never that, oh, you're white or you're black. It's just your friends. So that was the first time I had to actually really truly like look at color. I never had to do that.
That's how it is in Florida, and I've lived here in Florida since I moved to the US. And
So
it's,
you know.
yeah, I lived in Tampa for 15 years, and then I just recently moved to Jacksonville, but it's very separated.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very separated. Yes, and when you go out, if you're in a mixed relationship, or it's a group of you and it's a mixture of Hispanic, whites, blacks, they look at you like, what are you doing?
They want to know. They're like, how y'all know each other?
It's very separated. They want to believe it's not, but it really is. Because
It really
again, being raised upon a small island, I'm accustomed to one thing, and then I didn't really experience the segregation or even the blatant racism until I moved here to Tampa. And it was mind blowing to me the first time I experienced it. It was horrible that I immediately left work, went to my mom, and cried like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very blatant here in Florida.
And believe it or not, here in California, so California wants people to think that it's like, just
Progressive.
yes. No, it is progressive. I will say California was the first state to say that you cannot discriminate, fire, or not hire someone because of the hair that naturally grows out of their head.
Yes.
So I'm able to be myself, and no one can say anything. Whether the white people like it or not, no one can do anything about it. That's one thing I can say. They are progressive in that way. You're allowed to be your authentic self. Everyone. You can walk around if you want to wear purple hair and sometimes a lizard. You can still work and do your job. Like they don't discriminate in that. But as far as like when I moved to Oakland, like I moved to like middle town, California, like Paso, and there was like maybe 3 or 4 black people, but that was the need for SLPs, and so I went there, and most of my friends there, besides Nick, were white women. And when I moved here to Oakland, my friends that visit, or I talk, or they look at my, and here in Oakland, they're like, "Why you got all the white friends?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Again, confused. Not even looking at it like that. They was confused at here in Oakland. And Oakland is it's like, it's so many different people. There's Indian, all type of Asians you can possibly think of. From Indian to Filipino to Chinese, Japanese, all over Asia, period. Then you have Black, Hispanic, not Hispanic like we know, like Caribbean Hispanic. It's mostly Mexican. In California, I don't really find like Caribbean Hispanics out here.
Okay.
It's
It
really
seems like the
rare.
more west you go, it
Yeah.
dilutes.
Yeah, they don't really like Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban. You don't really have that out here. But Mexican, yes, like Mexican, there's definitely Mexican. And white, and you'll be surprised. And there's a lot of biracial couples. So I was so confused by that. So, like, moving out of New York really showed me that places are racist.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they are.
So now I'm interested to see, what other countries are doing out there. Like I've been to, other countries, but living there. Visiting and
Europe's
living
not
is
that.
different.
I know people, criticize America a lot for the racism that takes place, but my dad had lived in England for a bit, and I do know people that live currently in England, and the things that we go through here is they go through it like 5 times worse in England, in Russia, Germany, Italy. I mean, it's bad over there as well.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess maybe they just not maybe but they just don't like us everywhere, huh?
I
Well,
mean, we're awesome.
I know.
Some people
I
don't
was,
hate on awesome.
yeah. Don't you notice that people are always the maddest at the people who are the best? Like the people who
Yes.
perform the best. It's just like, look at how black men just grow. They just be all big and strong and great. Just looking at them. They're like, ah. They don't be looking at me, but I'll be looking at them. But but look at me. I started talking about traveling and country. We were supposed to be talking about so many other things, but this was great. I needed to hear this because I always want to hear like people's experiences moving, because you have no idea. I really want to move. Um, how did you like? What made you begin blogging?
Oh man, so many different things. So I have never really been. So my blogging is about mostly food and DIY projects, and I have never really been about making the food. I've always been about eating it. I mean, you could ask my mom. She said I was a foodie from conception. She said the minute she got pregnant, she swears she just ate nonstop. And I always wanted the authentic island food, that fungi, saltfish, anything authentically Caribbean. That's what I wanted. I always went for the exotic type of foods. And as I grew up, that's just love food, but I hated cooking it. Like, don't ask me to cook anything. It's not going to happen.
I love to cook. Just give me the direction.
But a few years ago, I started kind of experiencing some health problems and, seeing all these specialists. Come to find out I had, digestive problems, and they told me I really needed to start being mindful of what I'm putting in my body. So my mom, she is one of the most amazing cooks. If one day I can give you a plate of her food, I will.
Well, the next time I come to Florida, I'm coming to your house.
Well, she's in Tampa, but we could take a drive down. That's not a problem.
All right.
But she cooks the Caribbean way. She put all that spices. We eat a lot of starch, a lot of carbs. But I had to start being mindful of all the spices I was eating, the hot sauces, not consuming so much carbs and starches and whatnot. So that made me have to go cook for myself. And I got bored real quick because I kept cooking the same thing over and over and over. And I'm like, this is not working. So I started more doing research and finding out, okay, what is good to eat? What's not good to eat? Should I make it this way? Should I not make it that way? And then, I got involved in Pinterest and watching YouTube and seeing how they cook things. And the first thing I noticed is, yeah, it looks good, but I would never cook it that way. Why are you using this ingredient instead of that ingredient? I was just criticizing 24/7 until one day, because my mom would literally say I'd be sitting on that couch watching YouTube, and instead of really listening and taking down instructions, I'd be cussing at the TV, screaming at the person, saying, why are you doing that? Why are you using all that salt? What's going on with all this butter? I don't want high cholesterol. So, and one day when I was screaming at the TV, she says, okay, so they gave you an idea of what to make. How about you try and make it your way and see what happens? And since that, I've been, okay, let me see how they make this shepherd's pie. Well, I don't like how they make it that way. Let me do it my way. And my parents and my daughter love to be the test subjects. And as I started, just creating different things, they were eating it up and telling me it was great. And then, of course, for a while, I was like, I don't believe them. Family, they'll tell you what you want to hear. So I started, like, people at work, we have potlucks. I would try different things and take it to potluck, and they would be like, this is great. So and then I started to be, okay, I got the cooking down pat. Let me figure out things that I can substitute to make it more healthier. Or should I be buying the regular stuff, or should I be buying organic? But what makes organic different from the regular stuff? So just doing more research and learning more about food, how it impacts your body, made me start to have a love of learning about food and cooking it. And making it taste great. And I would take these pictures and send it to my parents, send it to Sensi. And Sensi said to me one day, why are you not posting this stuff or sharing it? I'm like, nobody wants this thing. And she's like,
yes,
yeah,
they do.
Yeah, she's like, you need to create a website and put these things on there and share what you're doing. She's like, that could be your journey to see where you started to where you are now. So it took a while to convince me, but I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to try it. And here we are. So it's still in its baby stages, but as I'm, creating new things, and I have to test it out multiple times before, just to make sure it's good. Then once it gets a sign of approval, I am putting it up on that website, posting it on Instagram, and sharing it with everyone. And then in regards to the DIY projects, so I have sensitive skin, so does my daughter, scalp. And as I was learning about the different types of foods and what it does for you, how important it is to buy organic versus the non-organic, and the different types of organic, because apparently there's different types too. I was also learning about certain ingredients that they put in the things that we put on our skin, in our hair. The lotions, the shampoos, the oils, all these different things. And it made me realize, I remember going into my bedroom and picking up my shampoo, and I'm reading it, and maybe out of the 100 different ingredients, maybe 5 of them I recognize. Like all the others, I couldn't pronounce the name. I didn't even know what it meant. And I'm like, what's all this stuff? And then I started Googling, trying to figure, okay, what does this mean? And most of it, so half of it I could not even find. Most that I did find, the verbiage was so out there and scientific that I'm like, I can't comprehend what it is telling me. And I thought to myself, if it's good for you, why can't we simply explain that? Why do we have to have all this scientific jargon that people can't understand? It's like, to me, and I'm very out there with my thinking, if I can't comprehend it, I have this thought that you're trying to hide something from me. And I mean, I could be totally wrong, but that's just how I think. So then what I did was, I started researching and saying, okay, if I have dry, sensitive skin, my daughter has eczema, what are good things, natural things that I can put on my skin that's going to take care of the dryness, take care of the eczema? And just doing that simple research and finding out what those good main ingredients are, then I started creating stuff, and I ended up creating a body butter. I created a shampoo that actually helped my scalp when I was natural. Then I went back to the creamy crack, but it is what it is. It was just too time consuming. And I did the body wash, and I still use the body wash when I'm having flare-ups, or my daughter's having her eczema flare-ups. So just things that I experience myself, I try to think of, how can I create something more natural for me to use, or for someone else who's going through the same thing that me and my daughter go through, that we can make that's going to be not costly and beneficial to our body. So that's pretty much what Lazily Organic is about. That's how I started doing Lazily Organic, and the kind of content that I want to provide to the people.
That was, first of all, well put. See what I was telling you guys? She's so articulate. Like, I was sitting there like, okay, that makes sense. Because, yeah, okay. You speak so well and you're so engaging. I love that about you. That's one of my favorite things about you. But you're right. That's how I ended up with Endearest. Because my skin, my face was so bad. And everything that I was using had all these crazy names in it that I could not, like, my skin was just getting worse and worse and worse. I'll send you a picture of how it looked before and when I started using the Rose formula. And I tell people, my skincare stuff literally has like 3 ingredients. And they're like, well, how does it work so well? Because it's no bull crap in it. It's all natural ingredients. And it's all things that are used to moisturize and penetrate. That's why. If you don't have a whole bunch of bull crap, people don't realize that less is more.
It's way better. And then I also think back to, 100 years ago, what were they using? They didn't have all these artificial things that they were creating, and they live longer than we currently are. So what were they doing to sustain life?
No. We live
that, that we're not.
The age expectancy is much higher now. We are living longer than they are, but
that's good though. But yeah. I remember that's good that that's happening. But in regards to health, they didn't have antibiotics and all that stuff where they were dying from the common cold. But when I think about living longer, I think back, and you have to excuse me with that, I think back Caribbean.
No, so you have to understand. So most people, indigenous people of African descent, did not get those diseases. Were European diseases. So like the cold and plagues and all that stuff, the white people bought that. Sorry, white people, if y'all mad, I apologize, but it is what it is.
I mean, it's
y'all gave them to us.
But
It
yeah,
was not
I
like
think
made up. I didn't make it up. It's not. It's the truth. We
it's
wasn't
out
doing
there.
that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
information that's out there. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think back on because because I was raised up, back home. I think back
Hmm.
on them more than holistically, which I should probably be doing. But like
Yeah.
my great grandfather, he lived to almost 130 years old, and
Oh snap!
he's not the only one. And when you ask them, were you doing back then, they talk about how they ate. They weren't
Hmm.
eating all this processed stuff that they're killing us with now.
Hmm.
Certain diseases that we have currently, how cancer is on the rise. They didn't have, I mean, they had cancer back then, but not how it's happening now, where breast cancer was in women that were majority older. And now you're finding out you have teenagers and young adults
Hmm.
experiencing breast cancer. And it's like, what's changed? And I personally feel it's all these artificial things that they're adding, the additives they're adding to our food. Found out the other day, which kind of blew me. I will never pick up another craft product ever. They were literally putting tree bark in the cheese.
Tree bark.
Tree bark. Look,
For what?
exactly. I'm like, do people know this info? You have to really go dig and search to find this information most of the time. But I'm like, that is horrible.
You know
How can
what?
the FDA be approving these things when
They approve anything.
yeah, they just approving? That's why sometimes I wonder who's getting paid underhand. But that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of these diseases that we're getting is because of the things we're putting in our body.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. When I lived in Florida, I was vegan for what, 3 years? 3 years? A little bit over 3 years. And I'm fake vegan now. I'm only vegan like certain during. I won't lie. When I'm out, when I'm at a restaurant, I'm eat what I want. I'm
I
eating
hear
what I
you.
want. But when I'm home, I maintain mostly a vegan diet.
Okay.
And the reason why I say mostly because sometimes I might sprinkle some cheese up on there. You know what I mean?
I
But
got you.
when I was in Florida, I maintained an only vegan diet. Even when I went to restaurants, I requested the vegan menu, and my friends were mindful enough to only pick restaurants that had a vegan menu and not with like just the salad and tomatoes. Like, did you have a vegan menu? Yes. All right, we going. So my body, I felt better. I felt lighter. I like overall the way I felt, looked, everything was just so much better than it is now. And I don't know why I'm fighting the urge to not be vegan again, but I really wish I had the discipline I had then to go back to vegan, because overall everything I ate was what, and I had no processed food because I had to use whole foods. I had to make sure that everything was organic and clean and pure, because when you're making all these sauces from scratch, you don't want to use all this processed stuff because it's going to taste
Exactly.
nasty. It's going to take away from the taste, and I like things that taste good, so I made sure I was using things, and I had to do my research and do what I had to do. But I won't lie to you, the vegan lifestyle, I was at my best, I must admit.
I believe it, because I was vegetarian for like 2 years. When I first, experienced those health problems, and one recommendation they made was cut out meat for a bit because I was having issues with digesting it. And I tell Sensi all the time, from after I had my daughter, I had put on some weight. Lord help us. And
Dude, y'all need to stop mom shaming. Y'all gave birth
I
to a
mean,
human.
I put on, like, right now I am the heaviest I've ever been, even after being pregnant. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I need to fix it. But it's when I went vegetarian, I had lost so much weight. When I worked out, I didn't feel exhausted. I was sleeping better. My skin looked better. And so I understand what you said, you were at your best when you were vegan, because I experienced that when I was a vegetarian, where I felt my best, energized, just glowing. But it's so hard for me to give up the meat.
No, and you know what? And it's not really meat with me, because I could care less. Like, I like a good lamb, I like a good steak, here and there. But I won't lie to you, it's crab legs.
Oh, soaked in that butter, right?
No, you know what? I make a mustard sauce.
Oh, you got to share that with me.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, I can't wait to. You going? It's about to change your life.
Really?
People are like mustard. Yes, mustard, and less calories too. But I'll. Well, you know what the people need to know. So you use ground mustard,
Okay.
spicy mustard, honey mustard.
Oh, so 2 types of mustard.
3.
Wait, so you said grounds,
Yeah, the
spice?
ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like the chunky one,
Yeah.
spicy, and
Okay.
then like a honey mustard.
Oh, I missed the honey. Okay.
You want to use a little bit of the white wine vinegar,
Okay.
a little bit of oil, like olive oil.
Does it matter if it's olive oil or avocado oil?
Nope,
Okay.
it doesn't. I've made it with both, depending on like what I had, and it tastes. I won't lie to you, the avocado oil, it did taste a little lighter than the olive oil,
Mm-hmm.
but I typically make it with olive oil. I only made it with avocado oil once because I was out of olive oil. When I
Okay.
wanted my crab legs. A little bit of, I use the pink sea salt, the
Okay.
Himalayan sea salt,
Mm-hmm.
pepper, and thyme.
Oh. So do you use the dry thyme or fresh thyme?
Well, I use fresh thyme. I do have dry thyme in the because I have obsession with seasoning, so I have an unnecessary amount of seasonings and spices because I like to just have it just in case. If a recipe calls for it, I can say I have it.
Mm-hmm.
Even down to white pepper, like I have everything you could possibly think of. But when I use my rosemary and my thyme, it's usually fresh. I get it from
Okay.
Whole Foods, from the little refrigerator section.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you mean.
yeah. So those two I usually keep fresh because I love rosemary and everything. And you could put rosemary in there if you want.
Okay. I'm not a big fan of rosemary though.
I love rosemary on everything. Is terrible, like a white person. I love me some but I put rosemary on anything.
Oh wow, that was
No,
like
but
me with bacon bits. I used to put bacon bits in everything.
no, you know what it is? Rosemary gives a pop. I can't explain it, especially like with meat.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it just does something for me. I promise you. But
I'll
yes,
try it minus the rosemary.
yeah, you don't have to put rosemary. It doesn't call for it, but I've had it with rosemary. But let me tell you, you're gonna thank me later. It's so
Okay.
good. You mix it up and you just
Mm-hmm.
dip that bad boy in there. I'm already smacked. I'm not even eating it. My
I
mouth is
hear you.
watering. I want some, okay? It
Maybe I'll
made my
try it
mouth
this
water.
weekend.
Yes, you're gonna love it. And I like with the king crab legs because king crab legs are a little sweeter.
Okay.
So yes, thank me later.
I will.
Thank me later. So what was your most successful or appealing post to your what are people who blog like are they bloggers? Like people that are like I follow the Instagram. I've only looked at the website a few times. That when Cincy told me you had a website, I said, "Oh shit, it's a whole website." It's like, yeah. So that's when I went to the website and was like looking through because I was looking at your Instagram. And I said, "Does Jess have a store?" Like I was trying to figure out what it was, and she's like, "No, it's a website, Lazily." And that's when I went to the website. But what was your most successful, you feel like, or most appealing post to your followers?
So for in regards to Instagram and also Pinterest, because they kind of went hand in hand with these two. So for food, and it's the one that you mentioned, the easy oven baked smoked turkey wings.
Yes, because you can eat it
I
through the screen.
I don't know what it is about that one, but people love it. Because Pinterest, Instagram, also my website, it gives you analytics of how many people went to that one, how long they stayed on it. Also, when I get questions about it, that one seems to be a favorite. I don't know why, but
I can
people
tell you why.
they love that one. And some feedback that I have received as well have been really great about that one in particular. And then for the DIY, I have an aloe vera pre-poo for low porosity hair because when I was natural, I had unfortunately low porosity hair. Went through so many different products to get that moisture and not lose half my hair off my head when I'm trying to detangle. It was just a hot. I mean, I'm exaggerating, of course.
No, but I
But
get it. Believe me, I get it.
I mean, but I had, a thick head of hair, and I remember the only pre-poo that worked for me was for the main choice. And the main choice is expensive. And
it's
my
lovable.
daughter have about 3 times the hair that I had. So sure, for her and I, we would go through a bottle every wash day. And I was washing my hair every week because of the sensitivity of my scalp.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I can't be spending $20 a week on a pre-poo. This is not acceptable. So again, I did research, try to figure out, what are good products for my strands, my crown of glory. What can I use to help me, something that's cost effective and still get the job done. Mm-hmm. So aloe vera came up everywhere I went. So I researched more about aloe vera and created this pre-poo. And within maybe 6 hours of me posting on Instagram, and it's not there anymore, the post, because I archive a lot of my past stuff because I kind of revamped Instagram, but it's still on LazilyOrganics.com. But when I posted it on Instagram at the time, within 6 hours, I was getting DM'd from so many women asking me questions about that pre-poo. And then within a week, they were coming back and saying, oh my God, it worked. And even on Pinterest, it's for the DIYs, it's a main driver. Like, people just jump to it for whatever reason. So those two, the oven baked smoked turkey and the DIY aloe vera pre-poo, those two are my most successful as of today.
Well, I can see why. I'm gonna try. I don't really do pre-poos. I think it's because I don't know. My hair is like weird. Like it's like not. I don't like to say nappy. It's like thick straight. So I know it sounds weird. So when my hair is dry, I have 4C hair. But as soon as you wet my hair is, some people like they can't comb their hair. Like my hair, I can't explain. They keep saying I have 4C hair because the way it looks but my hair, like I could just put some Eco Gel on it and it's down. Like I don't have like a difficult hair, like not difficult. I can't say difficult because everybody's hair is different. Meaning like I could just run a comb through my hair and don't have to but they said I have 4C hair.
From when I look at your hair, I don't see 4C though. So I don't know. I try not to. I know people, stereotype here and label them, and I try not to go based off the 3A to 4C method because everyone's hair is different. Everyone here strands, they grow. To me, they're all wonderful hair that grows out of your head. And I'm not big into the labeling because I see, like, sometimes I'm on TikTok watching hair stuff and people be fighting about the hair typing. And I'm like, it ain't that serious. Just love your strands. But
the reason why I was trying to figure out, because like you said, and I think it's because my hair doesn't retain the moisture. Okay. So I have to, like, it loses more. Like I can put jojoba oil, argan oil, everything you could possibly think of on my scalp, moisturize it to the tip. By the end of the day, it's like
it's dry.
Yeah, it's like, what? I don't care that you put stuff on there.
Yep, that's how my hair was. So, I mean, you can have, it sounds like you have low porosity hair, and you can have low porosity hair for any type of hair type, the 3A, 3B, anyone can. So what it really is the shafts of your hair, they remain open. And they won't, they remain closed. High porosity is the one that remain open. So because
that's the people with oily hair?
The one that remain closed, it does appear, because they put too much stuff on it. Okay. And with the low porosity hair can be oily. And the reason being is because the shafts are closed, when you're putting in thick oils, it's not able to penetrate the shaft of your hair. So it's not taking in the moisture for your hair to stay moisturized. It just always feel like you put stuff on it, it feels really good for a while, and then before you know it, it's like you never put anything on there. So there's different methods in order to open the shafts, the cuticles of your hair. so it can suck the moisture in and then close it with the oil. But you can't use heavy oils like coconut oil, avocado oil. You have to use light oils like jojoba, avocado, grapeseed. That's another good one.
So grapeseed is what I use for the maracuja oil, and
Yes.
that's my favorite because the way it penetrates. Jojoba and grapeseed are my favorite of the carrier oils.
But for those, what you want to do for low prostate is use it as a sealant. So you're really trying to get as much water when you're washing your hair. Get as much water as possible into the, the cuticles of your hair, and then use that oil to seal it. It lasts a little bit longer, but unfortunately, with low prostate, it's not going to, there's some of them that their hair can stay moisturized from wash day to wash day. That's not going to happen with low prostate. You have to, like, every few days go back and try and moisturize. Like, one thing I used to do is when I take my showers are always steaming hot. I don't know how I don't suffer from burns, but it's just extremely hot, and I shouldn't because of my eczema as well. It just even dries the skin out even more. But what I used to do is when I feel my hair about getting dry again, instead of wearing a shower cap, I wouldn't, because the steam alone from that hot shower opens up the cuticles and the water gets in there and your hair is moisturized again. Because water is really the best moisturizer for your hair, and not all these amazing, what they call amazing moisturizers they have out there trying to get your coins.
So that's good, because I do in order to do my hair, I have to wet it.
Yes.
Because if I don't, well, it's not that, it's just it doesn't want to do anything.
And then another thing that you could do that I do with my daughter now and again, you can use the steamer. Like when you put in your deep conditioner, go under a steamer and let it give you that extra moisture, and or use a heat cap when you put in your conditioners.
Oh, I have the heat cap. I love the heat caps.
Yes.
Those are my favorite. I love the heat caps. Oh, look, see, we got some pearls, y'all. See, that Lazily Organic stuff, okay? Where do you
Listen,
see?
I have done so much research on hair because I had seriously damaged my daughter's hair several years ago. Mm-hmm. And in January 2018, never forget, I cut off most of her hair that it couldn't even go in a puff. That's how much it... And I did so much research in trying to learn about natural hair and how to take care of it. And I got to send you a picture of where her hair has come in those years. Like, that girl have bra strap length hair.
Oh my! And it's thick too. So
it is nice, super thick. And it was just taking the time. Like I tell people all the time when they say, "Oh, my daughter's hair is unmanageable. It's not growing. It's not that." I always say, take the time and seriously do research. Don't listen to what other people saying. Mm-hmm. You do your own research, because what may work for one may not work for the other. And it's trial and error until you get that recipe that is going to just get it to take off. And it took months and months of trial and error and just trying as much natural products as possible, because I try not to do too much store-bought stuff. And just taking my time, having the patience, and it took off. But I tell people all the time, you gotta put the time in and do your research.
Yes.
Don't be following all these YouTubers with, doing all this extra stuff that you don't need to be doing. But it's just, do your research. That is always my biggest recommendation when people want to try something new.
The only thing I follow on YouTube is how to do makeup. That's it. I don't be watching anything else. If you see my YouTube, it's literally just makeup, because I love makeup. I have entirely too much, and that's what I like to do, makeup.
Yeah, I like to watch YouTube, and I watch a lot of food, DIY stuff, and I'm trying to get into the craft side of DIYs as well. And I do watch those hair videos, but mostly it's because I probably had a bad day and I want to laugh at somebody. Yeah. And then I will go, and I know that's probably terrible, but yeah, I get my kicks off of watching these girls do these crazy things to their hair.
Oh Lord. Oh no. Now, where do you see Lazily Organic going? Like, do you see just where do you see it going further than where? Do you see it going further than where it is now? Do you want to turn it in, your recipes into a cookbook, or would you like to start your own company? Like, where do you see Lazily Organic going?
So for when I think about it, right now for me, it's a hobby that I want to share with everyone, especially if it's something I know that works or tastes great. Um, but of course, I'm a type of person where I don't like to be stagnant.
Yes.
So for me currently, I'm trying to learn different things that's going to allow me to expand it. So for instance, the hot thing right now is, TikTok and doing reels and stuff like that. And I'm trying to figure out, how do you do that stuff? Like, how do you get that seamless transition from one
Oh,
thing to
they
the
do.
next?
They do it
So,
for you. It's
but
easy.
I was trying to do a reel yesterday on a rap I was making, and I could see every single transition. It was driving me nuts. So I've been trying to just get tips from people on how to do that, so I can get into doing more reels and starting a TikTok to create stuff. And then in regards to the cookbook, I do plan on trying to create three types of books in regards to,
Yay.
yes. So that's one of my goals. One is specifically for food, and I don't just want to put the everyday, rice and some curry chicken. I mean, that's been tried and true over the
Mm-hmm.
years. I want to do something that's more geared towards something that you're not going to eat on an everyday. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Things that you won't particularly go to the grocery store and just pick up and say, I'm going to cook this every single week. I'm trying to do something more exotic, but even though it's exotic, not where it's so hard to make.
Okay.
And then I also want to do a DIY craft book. So I'm trying to learn how, well, not really learn, but what I'm trying to do with the DIYs is get more into the arts and crafts as well. Because since moving to Jacksonville, I've been trying to get into the different holidays and doing the themes, the 4th of July, the Thanksgiving. And I mean, that stuff is pricey. I went into Ross and Marshall's and picked up some Christmas stuff. And by the time I was done, I was like, I spent $300 on these two stuff. Like, really? I'm just like, I need to start being creative and finding ways that I can make stuff to make your home all, warm and cozy and whatever holidays coming up. So I'm good. I'm trying to learn. I've been doing these craft things, I'm trying to remember the exact name, but there's a website that you can go on to learn how to do different Skillshare. There we go.
Okay.
So I've been doing the crafts on Skillshare to learn how to just do certain things that I don't really ever attempted to do before, so that I can just get the base foundation on how to make stuff, and then me being me, go off and do it my own way. Once I get that down, then I want to make a DIY craft book. And then something that I'm going to be focusing a lot in 2022, and we briefly touched on it in regards to, the things that we're putting in our body. I want to look more at holistic remedies. So I remember growing up in the islands, you go to a doctor and they're not writing you a prescription and sending you to the pharmacy, which is something I see a lot here. Like the other day, my daughter wasn't feeling that well. I went and they barely took a look at her and gave me a prescription for antibiotics and steroids. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with her that she needs steroids and antibiotics? Your body gets accustomed to antibiotics when you constantly use it. And I find a lot of doctors, they just antibiotics. And then when you really need it, because your body has grown accustomed to it, it's not effective.
Exactly.
So something that back home, doctors tend to, and I should say back then when I was there, because I don't know what they do now, but let me put that out there. They tend to try and give you more herbal remedies or holistic remedies to fix your ailment before giving you the hardcore stuff. So I've recently started to get back into that. Instead of popping a pill because I got a little headache, of course, if it's a migraine, I will pop that pill. But what else can I do to relieve that pain? And I have within the last year, I have gone back to how I used to take care of myself when I was younger, what my mom used to give me. And those are proving to be more beneficial for me than filling my body with pain meds, every single day to get through the day. So I am doing more research in regards to other home remedies or holistic remedies for, simple ailments that you don't necessarily need to get medication for, that people are using around the world, not just in the Caribbean, but what they're using in India, Asia, in Europe, especially in, India and China. And they have some really good home remedies and holistic remedies that works. Even in some countries in Africa, there are things that they're using to take care of themselves that we don't even get anywhere close to using, and they've proven to work. So I'm just doing additional research on that and trying them out for myself, because I'm not going to tell you go use something and I've never used it a day in my life. Exactly. That's not how I work.
Exactly.
So I'm looking more into simple things like that. One thing that I did try, I found out that turmeric is a good herb that can clear up dark spots.
Yes, that I do know.
I did not even know that until about a month and a half ago. And I'm like, I'm going to try it under my arms. And in the last 3 weeks, I've seen a huge difference. So just things like that I'm doing. And in next year, I want to put more of that stuff, more of that content out there. So that's, yeah. And then maybe one day, I know Sensei's been pushing me to go on YouTube, but I need to figure out all that editing and whatnot before land. But that's currently what I do have planned coming for Lazily Organic.
Well, we can't wait. I know I can't wait. I know after hearing you today, the listeners are not going to be able to wait. We're going to be like, where is it? Hurry up now. Because I'm ready to get this cookbook, because I want to learn these island dishes. I'm not going to do the DIY projects. I'm not. But I will support. But I know people who do want to do DIY or do it yourself projects, and they're definitely gonna want that, and we'll be looking forward to YouTube. So you better get on it, young lady, and start learning.
But see, I don't know anything about editing. Like, I've just starting to finally learn how to, because I tell a coworker of mine, I'm like, I don't understand how my pictures don't look like some of these other, what are they doing? And she's like, girl, you got to do the effects and the different type of, I was like, the what? So I'm just trying to learn more about that stuff and how to do all that editing. And then once, because I can tend to try and be a perfectionist sometimes. So if I know I can't give my best for it, I try not to venture there until I have it. Yeah. So once I figure all that good stuff out, then yes, the YouTube will eventually get there.
All right. And we'll be waiting. Thank you so much for coming in and being with us. Well, with me and with the listeners, and explaining to us how Lazily Organic goes and how it works. And I can't wait to give you my feedback this week on those oven smoked turkey wings.
Let me know.
And again, please let the people know where to find you.
Yeah, I am on Instagram at Lazily_organics, Lazily Organic on Pinterest, and of course my website, LazilyOrganic.com.
Yes, and don't forget, guys, that tomorrow is Tequila Tuesdays on Instagram Live. Are you going to be there? You going to join us?
You know I'll be there. As long as my eyes are open.
No, we need you to join us. You going to come on in and be a guest again?
I guess.
So since she guessed, guys, bring your tequila, because you know she's going to drink a whole bunch. I know I am. Preferably Casamigos, not that pat. Well, I had some Patron the other day, so it was all right. So come join me and my friends for some hot topics, hot tea, and laughter. And please, please, please share Where Did I Put My Glasses with your family and friends. Click follow or subscribe on your preferred podcasting platforms to stay updated on the latest episodes. And give me 5 stars, guys, because I know you want to. Also, go to wheredidiputmyglasses.com for more information on me. There are also links to the podcasting platform of your choice if you need to find which one you use, and you can also make suggestions for future shows and sign up to be on our email list. To interact with me directly, go to Instagram or Facebook at wheredidiputmyglasses.com for your thoughts, questions, or comments on today's episode. Thank you, Jazz.
No problem. It was a pleasure.